حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! End the siege on Gaza now! 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 Cease fire now! Cease fire now! Cease fire now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! End the siege on Gaza now! 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 End the siege on Gaza now!
ये हमें बिल्डिंग पे लाना चाह रहा था मैं थोड़ा और भी पूरा
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا 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 الله محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله Cease fire now 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 From the river to the sea From the river to the sea Palestine will be free Palestine will be free From the river to the sea From the river to the sea Palestine will be free Palestine will be free From the river to the sea From the river to the sea Palestine will be free Palestine will be free حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير Free, free Palestine! 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 Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Cease fire now.
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 Biden, Biden, shame on you.
Biden, Biden, shame on you.
Hochul, Hochul, you're shame too. Biden, Biden, shame on you.
Biden, Biden, shame on you.
Hochul, Hochul, you're shame too. Biden, Biden, shame on you.
Biden, Biden, shame on you.
Hochul, Hochul, you're shame too.
You shame too.
Biden, Biden, shame on you.
Biden, Biden, shame on you.
Hochul, Hochul, you're shame too.
You shame too.
Free, free Palestine.
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 From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
Free, free Palestine.
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 From South Africa to Palestine. Apartheid is a crime. From South Africa to Palestine. Apartheid is a crime. Free, free Gaza.
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 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is an apartheid state.
Israel is an apartheid state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terror state.
Israel is a terror state.
Fight the power, turn the tide.
Fight the power, turn the tide.
End Israeli apartheid.
End Israeli apartheid.
Fight the power, turn the tide.
Fight the power, turn the tide.
End Israeli apartheid.
End Israeli apartheid.
Free, free Palestine.
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 From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Free, free Palestine.
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 From the river to the sea.
from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
Muhammad Rasulullah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
حسبي الله
حسبي الله
ونعم الوكيل.
ونعم الوكيل.
حسبي الله
حسبي الله
ونعم الوكيل.
ونعم الوكيل.
نعم المولى
نعم المولى
ونعم النصير.
ونعم النصير.
حسبي الله
حسبي الله
ونعم الوكيل.
ونعم الوكيل.
نعم المولى
نعم المولى
ونعم النصير.
ونعم النصير.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Gaza.
Free, free Gaza.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Stop the killing, stop the crime.
Stop the killing, stop the crime.
Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
Stop the killing, stop the crime.
Stop the killing, stop the crime.
Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Peace be upon all of those who are here today, fulfilling our obligation towards our brothers and sisters in Palestine. We will start the program with words from the Quran being recited by our Sheikh Hassan.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. وآتينا موسى الكتاب وجعلناه هدى لبني إسرائيل ألا تتخذوا من دوني وكيلا ذرية من حملنا مع نوح إنه كان عبدا شكورا. وقضينا إلى بني إسرائيل في الكتاب الكتاب لتفسدن في الأرض مرتين ولتعلن علوا كبيرا فإذا جاء وعد أولاهما بعثنا عليكم عبادا لنا أولي بأس شديد فجاسوا خلال الديار.
Jazakallah khair. Our next guest speaker is Sheikh Jafar from Al-Hidayah Center. And before our first guest speaker speaks, I just want to recognize the support that we're having from everyone from different faith groups. And we would like to thank you for this is a human right, and we're all here together for the same cause. So thank you so much for being here with us. And also for the New York State Police, we'd like to thank you and everyone who's providing security for us. Thank you so much, we really appreciate it.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. My dear brothers and sisters, world. Number two, we would like to thank all of you, those who took time in such a rainy day to be here, to stand for that which is right. We thank you so much. Number three, I would like you to remember that we are here, and our first reliance is on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our first reliance is on our Creator. Therefore, we would like to go back to Him, ask Him for support, ask Him for help, ask Him for all kinds of support, spiritually and otherwise. We would like to repent to Him from our shortcomings, from our mistakes, from our sins. For therefore, when we correct ourselves, the world around us will be corrected. Number four, my dear brothers and sisters, we would like to be here standing for that which is right. We are witnesses. Today we are witnesses. We would like to be witnesses for the truth. We would like to be witnesses for the haqq, for that which is right. My dear brothers and sisters, everyone who is a human being, who has an open mind, who has a living heart, a living consciousness, we realize that our babies and children that are being killed today in Gaza, how many children have to be killed? How many innocent people need to be killed? How many people need to be starving? How many people cannot get medication? How many hospitals need to be destroyed in the state of senators? We would like to send a clear message to them. Cease fire now! Cease fire now! Cease fire now! Isn't this a clear message? Isn't this a humanitarian need? We would like our representatives to take a stand and make sure that humanitarian relief is given chance, is given free entrance to Gaza. Gaza should not die
The children of Gaza should not die. The women and innocent people of Gaza should not die. My dear brothers and sisters, this is our message. And this is a clear message to everyone who would like to listen, to everyone who would like to stand on the side of that which is right. My last point, my dear brothers and sisters, as we are here, we would like to make sure that we give our message in a very peaceful way. We are giving our message in a peaceful way. We are asking for peace in a peaceful way. We are asking for peace everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world, but especially in Gaza, because Gaza is suffering today, my dear brothers and sisters. I would like to ask all of you to make sure you are disciplined, to make sure that you keep the place clean, to make sure that we behave as our faith requires us to faith. And thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for being here today. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Our next guest speaker is Imam Jamal from Masjid al-Nabawi on Brandywine, Schenectady.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، وقوله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا فالله أولى بهما فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا وإن تلووا أو تعرضوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Brothers and sisters, the points that I've been assigned to speak to you today about two very simple things. The first thing, the question I asked myself, being that my family came from Afghanistan in 1979 under persecution from the Soviets. The question in my mind was, why do I deserve to live here in safety and security, and why are people around the world, our brothers and sisters, and many other groups suffering from oppression? Why is it that I get to put my kids to bed at night completely safe, without a doubt in my head about what their safety is going to be like as they sleep? And why is it that people who are the same way innocent, why can't they have the same lifestyle? Why can't they enjoy the same peace and security that I do? And here, Allah Azza wa Jal does not do anything by mistake. Na'udhu billah. Allah Azza wa Jal does not create anything in vain. He doesn't make a decision without an actual purpose behind the decision. It's our job, it was my job, to beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let me realize that purpose. And what I have come to understand is that we living here in the West, we don't have the same terror over our heads every day. But our job, while we can't go and support them with food, with medicine, we can't actually do anything physically with our hands. one thing that stands out to me, hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said the greatest struggle, one of the greatest struggles a person can undertake is speaking a just word in the face of a tyrant. Speaking a just word in the face of a tyrant. Suddenly, the realization drowned over me. I'm not here simply just to ignore what goes on with people around the world that suffer from oppression. I'm here in the belly of the beast, so to speak out against it when I see it with my eyes, when I can verify its truth, when I realize that the truth has been suppressed this entire time. This is not an issue of religion. This is not an issue of anything other than a humanitarian crisis.
Hello?
My brother's here standing next to me.
Going in?
We are standing together for one simple purpose. Humanity. Around the world, the last 3 weeks, you've seen groups. Sorry, can we get the drone down? The state police have an issue with that, please. Jazakumullah khair. It's a police call, not ours. I just want to make that clear. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you. Over the last 3 weeks, we've seen groups from every background speak out against this genocide and call it for what it is. And a lot of people on the other side are wondering, don't you realize, hey LGBTQ, why are you standing for Palestinians? Hey you, hey Jewish Voice for Peace, these people hate you. They try to spin this narrative that there's some sort of mutual hate that exists. Wallahi, this is not an issue of theology. This is not an issue of what's we consider morally right or wrong. This is not anything other than a humanitarian crisis and a suppression of the very plain and clear truth. Allah Azza wa Jalla has allowed this generation of Palestinians to speak the English language fluently, to be able to communicate through social media, to be able to tell us their truth on the ground as they're witnessing and living it. Prior to this, me having grown up in this country, all I've ever known was the media of this country. I, as a Muslim, consuming the mainstream media, did not have any idea as to how bad it actually was in Gaza, in Palestine, in the West Bank. I'm telling you. Until I spent 1 month with a Palestinian family in the middle of California for Ramadan. I was there to inaugurate their new masjid. I asked them about where they came from. I asked them about their entire family history, their story. And the way they broke it down to me completely opened my eyes. I said, SubhanAllah, in my history class, when I learned about segregation, when I learned about apartheid, when I learned about persecution, not once in any textbook, not at a university level, not at a high school level, not at any level, were we told about the genocide, the mass exodus, the forced expulsion of 750,000 people immediately after the atrocities of the Holocaust. Imagine my shock and horror that I have been living in ignorance and being blind for so much of my life, especially as a Muslim. That was the suppression, that was the extent of the suppression of the truth. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, today is a new day. Today, the truth is finding its way out. It's forcing its way out. And the irony here is that as the oppressors continue to try and justify their oppression, they are running out of excuses. They are running out of words to use, and it's completely backfiring against them. These brothers standing here next to me are proof and parcel of this coming true. That the truth can no longer be hidden from the world. At this point, we are all together for humanity. We say, stop the genocide, stop the genocide, stop the genocide. That's stop the genocide. These three words are all we need. Stop the genocide. Stop the genocide. Stop the genocide. Stop the genocide. Any debate I've had with anyone on the opposite side to try to get them to see some reason, point blank,
stop the genocide. After that, they have nothing to say. There is no justifying beyond that. You cannot deny that this is a genocide. Yesterday, very recently, we had some update in the news where blatantly every man, woman, child, even the pets should suffer. Subhanallah. The lack of humanity, the lack of human decency, the ostentatiousness to step out and speak against the book, one of the books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Torah, to say something so antagonistic, so against God. Yet here we are, again, to remind our elected representatives, their job isn't to accept the money that comes in. Their job is to represent our interests. Their job is to utilize the tax dollars that we pay for the better and the greater good of humanity. Wallahi, that is what we need. People spending our tax dollars for the greater good of humanity, not the destruction of it. Stop the genocide. Stop the genocide. Stop the genocide. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to unite us, those who seek the truth, those who seek to promote the truth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the strength and the resources that we need in order for the truth to prevail. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to defeat any oppression that we see from the very root of its existence. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khair. Our next guest speaker is Imam Rafiq from Bethlehem Masjid.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I greet you all with the greetings of peace, brothers, sisters, and friends. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of God be upon all of you. Alhamdulillah. Look at the unity of the Muslimin. Look at the unity of the Muslims. Alhamdulillah. Never in my life have I seen the Muslims together as one as they are today. We have seen on our social media, we have seen on TV, we have seen people dying. We have seen children. We have seen elderlies. We have seen non-combatants, innocent people dying left and right, being carpet bombed. If in your heart you felt the pain, then say ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. If you feel every time you look out and you see people being oppressed, you feel that pain, say ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. We know thousands upon thousands of people being killed. There is no justification for it. They argue on the one side, when innocents are killed, what is it called? It's called collateral damage. But when innocents are killed on the other side, it's called terrorism. It's either one or the other. It's either terrorism on both sides, or it's collateral damage on both sides. You cannot have it both ways. This is the hypocrisy of the argument. We know it is a hypocrisy. We know that the statement is false. But it's either terrorism on both sides, or it's collateral damage on both sides. We are clear as Muslims. We know that our religion teaches us that the truth is in the middle. The truth is the mizan. That the killing of innocent people, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Killing of innocents is completely unacceptable. We know this to be the fact. And if anyone denies that, then there is truly a problem in their heart. There is a darkness in their heart. What did the Palestinian people do to deserve such vitriol, such oppression? What did the Muslimin do? We don't hate any group. We don't hate the Jews. We don't hate the Christians. We love. Love is part and parcel to our religion. That is the truth. Years ago, I was standing almost in this exact spot, just on the other side of this building, and we were calling out Slobodan Milosevic, and the slogan was Milosevic and Hitler, same name, different game. Here we are, 25 years later, we're calling America to stand behind the oppressed, stand for justice, like you did yesterday. Is it not in your interest to stand for the downtrodden? Is it not in your interest? For what reason? For what reason? They are human beings. When people are dying, you must stand up. And America, you're at this moment, then you completely disqualify yourself from any future arguments. This country, we are here, many of us, seeking asylum, seeking peace, seeking safety and sanctity. Many of us have been chased away from corrupt governments. We sought safety here. But now, we're on the wrong side of history. Let's be honest. Don't choose the wrong side of history today. Today, we want freedom for the people of Palestine. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine must be free! Palestine must be free! I call on all of you, do not stop calling. Do not stop sharing. Do not stop letting people know the truth of what is happening. Keep sending your messages. Keep posting on your chat. Let people know until people get sick and tired of hearing us. And then maybe they'll say, what's going on? Maybe it's time to make a change. Maybe I should go and learn about the history, about the reality. Forget about the history. I know it sounds bad. Let's forget about the history. Because that is an argument that can last forever and ever and ever. My claim, your claim, our claim, someone else owned it before. What's happening right now? No one can argue. This is wrong. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us, help all of us, and help us to remain steadfast in this time. Give us istiqamah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه هو الغفور الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Just a reminder, I see a lot of people, alhamdulillah, have their phones out, they're live streaming. We encourage that, right? This is echoing the words that we just heard. Spread this to everyone that you're able to, inshallah. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free Allah! La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! Muhammadur Rasulullah! Muhammadur Rasulullah!
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. John. He's a Christian priest and a member of the New York State Council of Churches.
Peace be with you. I am with the New York State Council of Churches, also Churches for Middle East Peace, and those organizations, as well as the National Council of Churches, the World Council of Churches, and scores of Christian denominations across the United States join with you in calling for an immediate ceasefire and an end to the siege and blockade of Gaza. Those acts of violence will only beget further violence and do not lead to peace. The attack on Israeli civilians and taking of hostages will not lead to peace. The Israeli bombardment of Gaza and the killing of civilians is violent and will not lead to peace. Denial of water, food, and medical supplies to innocent civilians is a war crime and will not lead to peace. The decades-long occupation of the West Bank, the denial of human rights, confiscation of Palestinian land, demolition of homes, the illegal arrest and detention of Palestinian children is systemic violence and will not lead to peace. The United States' unconditional support of Israel and continued military aid to Israel will not lead to peace. Justice, only justice, will lead to lasting peace. We are here this afternoon because we are angered at the continuing violence and injustice, angered that our own government has supported such action. But let us also acknowledge that underneath that righteous anger is also deep pain and grief at human suffering. Underneath that anger is deep compassion for those who are suffering, for those whose lives are in jeopardy. Recently, some Palestinians and Jews together authored a statement which has since been endorsed by many, many people. And in that statement they say this is a time of great suffering for all, a time of painful emotions. It is only by recognizing our shared fears and our shared tears that we will find a way through this nightmare. It is a struggle we need to undertake jointly. This is a moment, they say, that calls for us to slow down and to acknowledge our pain, a time for digging deep and seeing across differences and our common yearning for peace and justice. It is only through compassion and empathy that we will find a different way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next guest speaker is Rabbi David Feldman.
Thank you very much. With the help of the Almighty. Assalamu alaikum. We are standing here today in the city of Albany while we have people around the globe standing up for Palestine. It's because we are humans. We are deeply disturbed by this ongoing genocide, this mass murder of innocent men, women and children. It should disturb every right-minded person, and we should at least speak up and do everything we can to stop this. My name is Rabbi David Feldman with Neturei Karta International, a Jewish movement internationally opposing this occupation from its very beginning. It's because we are Jews and we know that this occupation is against our religion, killing and stealing, oppressing an entire people, is not only a crime in international law, but is a true crime in Judaism. It happens to be that even without all these crimes, this philosophy of Zionism is a secular concept which is in total contrast of basics of Jewish belief. But it is because we are Jews. It was our families, our communities who suffered in the Holocaust. We know what suffering is, and we don't want to see this happen to anyone. Especially we are disturbed. Jewish people the world over are embarrassed when all of this is being done supposedly in our name. And on top of all, the Jewish religion sadly is being misused by a movement which is officially secular, refuses to follow the Jewish religion, and misuse that very same religion to justify crimes forbidden in that religion. This is true hypocrisy. As Jewish people, we join all peoples of the world to speak up and condemn this genocide, which didn't start today. It didn't start on October 7th. We have to realize, as the Secretary General of the United Nations said, that what happened on October 7th did not come out of a vacuum. This was an outcome, a result of 75 years of brutal occupation. We don't condone any violence, but we have to face reality. Obviously, the siege on Gaza now. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Cease fire now. 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 Cease fire now.
Right, our next guest speaker is going to be representing ICCD, our friend and my brother Abdurrahman Al-Khalidi.
السلام على من يحب السلام. السلام لمن يحب السلام. Peace unto those who love peace. Peace unto those who love peace. My name is Abdurrahman, and I'm speaking to all of you as a survivor of the Israeli brutality in 1982. I have seen and I witnessed what it means when houses are demolished. I have been the survival of aerial bombardment of Beirut in 1982. And we lost 17,000 civilians. Right now, you're all here because you want to represent the innocent civilians of Gaza who have no voice. You are their voice. Brothers and sisters, when I was in 1982 under the siege and bombardment of Israel, I thought as a child that the whole world is sitting waiting to see what will happen, that the whole world will come out and help us. Let's to understand that people actually, in that time, they were more occupied in looking and seeing the World Cup and who's going to win the World Cup. It matters to a lot of Palestinians right now to listen to your voices. And I duly appreciate those who came here except with the inclement weather. And I see children, young, infants. everything that you do will count. I just want to say, I called a friend from Gaza today, and he asked, do you think the world will care? Is it after 8,000, 10,000, 15,000 casualties? When would the world wake up? I said, I'm going to go to a rally, and I'm hoping a lot of people will not only come and speak, they will use their phones, their Twitters, their accounts to stop the aiding of Israel. Right now, we as Muslims denounce any targeting of civilians on both the Jewish and the Muslim side. Let there be no doubt. We denounce any targeting of civilians. But right now, massacres and genocide is going in Gaza, and if anybody is going to stop it, it will be the United States. Israel is the child of the United States. But you know, sometimes you need to discipline your child. If Israel support can stop, Israel will stop the genocide in 24 hours. And if that were to happen, it is the people who are here, the American citizens and the residents of the U.S. who will call their representatives and senators, send letters, thousands of letters and emails, and stop the aiding of Israel on our name. You don't want your tax money to go to killing civilians. We don't want that. Make sure that you put it in writing. Say it's a crime that our hard-earned tax money goes into bombarding civilians and killing children in hospitals. There's today a hospital with 15,000 civilians in Al-Quds being bombarded. Another massacre on the way, not in our name. Thank you to all who made it here in this weather. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask God to protect the children of Gaza. And we ask Allah that this generation, one day will see free Palestine. Free Palestine! Assalamu alaikum.
I need no introduction as I am not a member of this masjid.
I stand before you, a Muslim woman, a proud Muslim woman. I have some words to say.
It's okay. Let her talk. 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 Let her talk.
Sister, this is not helpful. Sister, this is not helpful.
Let her talk.
Don't
Let her talk.
All right, we are here all with one voice to support our brothers and sisters in Palestine. And we organize this to make sure that those who are here to speak, they are here representing the voices of the free. We put all of these things together so we can actually be one voice. And one thing that we have to show the world is we're coming together with one voice of unity. We have to be organized. When we are divided from within, that is the cause for what we're seeing around the world. We have to be disciplined. We have to respect Matter of fact, this is an obligation for each and every one of us to be the voice in a very responsible way. I am here not because I want to be showing myself. I am here to fulfill an obligation to my brothers and sisters who are under the rebels, who are being bombarded, and we have to make sure that we are organized. I assure you today, the next speaker is somebody who is from Gaza himself, who has family members dying as we speak, who doesn't have mic away from my brother here, who was literally crying just now. So we're doing this because it's an obligation. We are not oppressing anyone. We are going to live in So my brother Ahmed here, he is going to raise his voice for those who are thinking he doesn't have a right to speak. And he needs no mic for that. But we will give him the mic.
Come off the last part there, please.
Make your own rally.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
To be honest, I have far more emotions flowing through me than I thought would go through me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen us to say what's right. May Allah inspire me to say what needs to be said. And may Allah inspire every single person here to take the taqwa that you need, the God consciousness that you need, the provisions that you need to do the real work after being here. I stand next to Rabbi David. I was with him at a rally a couple weeks ago. And he reminds me of what true Judaism is. The Judaism that I heard from my grandmother, and the Judaism that I heard from my father-in-law. My grandmother from Jerusalem pointed out that they had Jewish friends growing up, that their children would play with one another, indigenous Jews from the area of Palestine. My father-in-law, when they fled, his grandfather fled Beit Jiz in 1948 after the hysteria caused by villages such as Tantara and Deir Yassin. His indigenous Jewish neighbor begged him not to leave, thinking that this was something that was going to pass. But they left to flee massacres. And you see, Jews have always found refuge in our lands, in the lands of Muslims and Arab. To the extent that when the Zionist regime tried to spin that Israel is the only safe place for Jews, do you know what happened? The Jews of Iraq, the Jews of Masr, the Jews of Morocco refused to go to Palestine. They refused to go to the Zionist state. They said, Jerusalem is nice, but we consider Baghdad to be a piece of heaven. They considered it to be the Garden of Eden. That's how beautiful it was. And that should impress upon us the horrors of what happened in Iraq after 9/11. And so what did they do to make the Jews of Iraq to come to Palestine? The Zionist regime planted bombs in Iraq. They hired people to look like Arab and Muslims to attack the Jews. No longer safe for you here, or in Morocco, or in Masr. And this is in their own archives. And then when they came, those Arab Jews, to Palestine, they were put in the worst neighborhoods. They were put into schools to erase their Arab people. I pray next to somebody who lost 20 people. I pray next to somebody who lost their mother. I pray next to somebody who has no contact with people. And we are allowed to cry over these things. But as I saw in a very beautiful video yesterday, a father reminding people, your child now is a shaheed for 70 people on the Day of Judgment. Your child, you lost 2. You have 140 people that you can account for on the Day of Judgment. This life is the beginning. You have more to come after this. I was in a discussion in a session this past week at work. And there were people who had the nerve to say You're saying it's an apartheid state. You're saying it's an occupation. That is an opinion. This is from pro-Zionist leaning people. And I replied as such. You want to say it's an opinion? Then I will counter with Nelson Mandela's opinion. And your opinion does not match up to Nelson Mandela's opinion, who said it is far worse than the apartheid we faced in South Africa. It is far worse than what we faced in South Africa. And this country was the last leg to South African apartheid. This country considered him a terrorist for 29 years. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. I conclude with two things. In the words of Miko Peled, Miko Peled's grandfather signed the Israeli Declaration of Independence. Miko's father, Madi Peled, was their foremost military general in the IDF, who left the IDF after they failed to look at and look into war crimes that he knows his own people committed. He died basically an anti-Zionist. Miko Peled, again, his grandfather signed the Declaration of Independence. He lost his niece to a suicide bombing attack. Sitting in the room with the head of state, their prime minister, he said, why don't we tell the truth? That this and other tragedies happen and will continue to happen because we are occupying their land. And if we want peace, that we need to treat them with justice and peace. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Ceasefire now. Lift the siege now. Bring a proportional amount of humanitarian aid now. When you think that this began on October 7th, you are, with all due respect, utterly blind. When you say you are letting food in, you have no idea how much they need. When you think lifting it to the status quo before October 7th was sufficient, you have no idea. Before October 7th, 92% of the water in Gaza was not potable. These beautiful children, if they lived in Gaza, they would be shrinking because they are malnourished. I can stand here and pump you up and motivate you. But wallahi, the real work, have conversations, the difficult conversations with your co-workers, with your neighbors, with your people in real interfaith communities. Real interfaith work. Not the Christian Zionism and Jewish Zionism, which is a hijack to both of those religions. Not that. Because when they say, I stand with Israel, you know who doesn't? Moses doesn't. When they say, I stand with Israel, you know who doesn't? Jesus doesn't. Peace be upon them and all of the prophets. The last thing I will say, Baba, Maryam, listen to me. Yunus, listen to me. Abdurrahman, listen to me. Inas, listen to me. Zayd, listen to me. Umar, Nuruddin, Adam, Wissam, all of the kids that I've named and haven't named, listen very closely. You will free Palestine. You will free Palestine. Do not take this lightly. Do not take this lightly. Learn to read very well. Learn your history very well. Learn to write very well. Learn to speak passionately and accurately. It's okay to be afraid. This is not going to be easy. But the Sahaba faced fear. The Banu Israel with Musa faced fear. The Hawariyin with Sayyidina Isa faced fear. Lean into your fear and you will be a better person getting through it. Work hard. Be good students. Be good citizens. And bring people to the side of the truth. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! End the siege on Gaza now! End the siege on Gaza now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next guest speaker is Imam Patel from Masjid Al-Arqam.
Free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greetings, my brothers and sisters in Islam, in humanity. Since October 7th, more than 7,000 Palestinians have been killed, 40% of who were children. 1.4 million within Gaza. They have been displaced. They have been killed. Media doesn't report, and they will not report. Media will have us believe that this tale began October 7th. But the fact of the matter is this: it has been going on for 75 years. People, they assume, they think that the clock didn't start to tick except 3 weeks ago. It started 75 years ago. That's when the clock started to tick. They put the clock on 3 weeks ago on October 7th. This is what they do. It started by illegal occupation, and this has been recognized by international law. Media, they use the word conflict. This is not a conflict. This is not a conflict. This is genocide. This is rampant and systematic ethnic cleansing. This is brutality, and this is apartheid. The Israelis, they're armed, they're funded to the teeth for the sole purpose of destruction. This is what they have been funded for the sole purpose of destruction, to cleanse, to ethnically cleanse Palestine, to displace the Gazans. This is an open-air prison. This is an open-air prison. Imagine if we were in this kind of situation. Israel, they are given $4 billion annually. And Americans here, they don't have adequate health care. And they're drowning in college debt. This is a shame on us. This is a shame on this country. When they say Israel has a right to defend itself, what they really mean is Israel has the right to genocide. This is what they mean. That they have a right to genocide, license to bomb hospitals, civilians, schools. They deny Gaza food, water, medicine. This is the lowest of the low. How can we as human beings, be okay with this type of oppression? We have a modern day Karbala unfolding in front of us. This is a modern day Karbala unfolding in front of us. And we stay silent? How can we stay silent in front of this kind of bull? This is a shame on us as Muslims. This is a shame on us as human beings. This is not a complicated issue as people would have us believe. Russia invaded Ukraine and everyone said that they have a right to defend. No one made a peep. No one said a thing. Israel invades Palestine on a daily basis. They usurp their homes and lands daily, and no one makes a sound. This is a shame on each and every single one of us as Muslims. All of the Muslim countries, they're cowed in silence. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Muslim countries are silent, and your silence speaks volumes of where your morality lies. Your silence speaks volumes on where your morality lies. Empathy, it makes us humans. And this is what makes us human. Empathy makes us human. Become humans. Become humans. The world cannot move on with wanton oppression. May Allah guide us. May Allah guide us and inspire us towards the truth. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
We want justice.
We want justice.
We want justice.
We want justice.
Fight the power, turn the tide.
Fight the power, turn the tide.
End Israeli apartheid. Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
Not a nickel, not a dime.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
Stop the killing, stop the crime.
Stop the killing, stop the crime.
Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
So, as we come to the concluding parts of this part of the protest, just a reminder, we will be praying as soon as we're done with this part, and then we're going to come back, and we want to be facing the streets and chant. We are here until 3, so please, as we take that time to pray, please do not leave. For those who are not praying, that is not a conclusion for the entire program. This is just the conclusion for this part from the podium. So we have the statement, the joint statement by the local mosques and the MSAs. We do have copies available for the media. The statement reads, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. The Muslim community of the greater Albany, New York area adds its voice to our fellow citizens of the world, its leaders, and the NGOs, including UNICEF and Amnesty International, by issuing an urgent call for an immediate ceasefire in the occupied Gaza Strip to prevent further loss of civilian lives and to ensure access to life-saving aid for people in Gaza amidst an unprecedented humanitarian catastrophe. The number of casualties reported by Associated Press on Thursday before the ground invasion surpassed 7,000 deaths, with almost 3,000 children. As we speak, our brothers and sisters in Gaza still have no water, food, fuel, or medication, while Israel is launching a full military attack by air, land, and sea. Gaza is no longer just the open-air prison we've known and denied for decades. It is the site of ongoing genocide, ethnic cleansing, and impending famine. We echo the calls of our fellow world citizens, human rights activists, NGOs, and world leaders who chose to be on the side of humanity and the right side of history by calling for an immediate ceasefire, an immediate flow of humanitarian aid proportional to the needs of Gaza's 2.3 million citizens, an immediate and permanent withdrawal of U.S. military aid to Israel, given its continual disregard for the war crimes it commits, the civilians and journalists it massacres, and the hospitals and houses of worship it destroys. An immediate access to an independent commission of inquiry on the occupied Palestinian territories, full support to the International Criminal Court's ongoing investigation into the situation of Palestine, an immediate release of all Palestinians who are arbitrary detainees, including hundreds of minors, an end to the illegal Israeli occupation of Palestine, which is the root cause of what we are witnessing today. We end our statement with the words of Michael Palid, whose grandfather signed the Israeli Declaration of Independence, commenting on the death of his niece.
It's a camera. That's a camera.
Quote, "Why not tell the truth? Why not tell people that this and other similar tragedies are taking place because we are occupying another nation, and that in order to save lives, the right thing to do is to end the occupation and negotiate a just peace with our Palestinian partners." End quote. End of our press release.
We will conclude this part, as I mentioned earlier, with a prayer. One more speech? Okay, we have one more speech. I do apologize. This is a surprise for the day. I'm sorry, I wasn't given the name. She will introduce herself. I don't do a good job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I will be brief. My name is Rashida Tyler. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the New York State Council of Churches. And I just want to say to everyone who is gathered here today what was said to my grandparents as they fought for civil rights, as they fought against oppression. They said, we have each other. We have each other in strength. We have each other in power. You also have something else. You have your vote. You have the ability to go to each and every single elected official who is taking a trip to Israel, who is standing with Israel, who is not paying attention, who is ignoring the pain and suffering in Gaza and in every Palestinian person, and is continuing this siege of Gaza. And you have the ability to say, I will not support you. We will find people who we can join together with, who believe what we believe, that Palestine will be free. You will know that there are people standing with you in every community across the United States. Don't ever let anyone, ever let propaganda ever make you think that is different. The American people stand with the Palestinian people. Thank you. And I just want to say, when I was 16 years old, I was introduced to what was happening to the Palestinians through a world studies teacher. He went off curriculum and he had us explore and debate the Palestinian-Israeli situation that was happening in Palestine and Israel. And at 16, I began asking a question which still has not been answered almost to this day. Why? Why cannot children in Gaza and Palestine live free and happy? Why cannot Palestine exist side by side with Israel? Why? Why are we here today? Why are we supplying weapons of war to this regime when we go after every single other regime and say, oh, this is not... Yes, the answer to the question is that we have a vested interest in supporting an oppressive, genocidal regime. So who in the U.S. has that interest? Every single elected official who is going abroad and is not asking these questions, we need to be pressing and grilling them. And we're in election time right now, every single time, we need to say, we stand with Palestine. We are going to hold you accountable. We will not turn out for that blue wave that you want to manifest each and every single November. We are not going to be there. And I don't want to belabor because I know that many of you we have prayer coming up, so I want to dedicate that. But just know that people of America stand with Palestine. I stand with Palestine. I'm going to say, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Inshallah, totally, we are going to end with a dua, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Free, free Palestine! 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 End the siege on Gaza now! 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 Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله From the river to the sea Palestine will be free From the river to the sea Palestine will be free Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Free, free Palestine. 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 From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Not a nickel, not a dime. 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 No more money for Israel's crime. No more money for Israel's crime. Not a nickel, not a dime. Not a nickel, not a dime. No more money for Israel's crime. No more money for Israel's crime. Not a nickel, not a dime. Not a nickel, not a dime. No more money for Israel's crime. No more money for Israel's crime. End the siege on Gaza now. 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 Justice, justice, we know how. Justice, justice, we know how. Lift the siege on Gaza now. Lift the siege on Gaza now. Justice, justice, we know how. Justice, justice, we know how. Lift the siege on Gaza now. Lift the siege on Gaza now. Free, free Palestine. 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 La ilaha illallah. 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 Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. Free, free Palestine. 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 Not a nickel, not a dime. 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 No more money for Israel's crime. No more money for Israel's crime. Inshallah, we will do a dua, and don't leave after that. We need to pray Dhuhr together, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I couldn't hear you. Assalamu alaikum. Let's the world hear our voice. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. I couldn't hear you, let alone the world, guys. Free, free Palestine. 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 Free, free Gaza. Free, free Gaza. Free, free Gaza. Free, free Gaza. And the genocide. And the genocide. And the genocide. And the genocide. And as the world is hearing us, we raise our hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also to hear our struggle. So let's inshallah ta'ala raise our hands to the Lord to heal our hearts. Inni maghlubun fantasir. Let's raise our hands. Allahumma ya Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Ya Allah, brothers and sisters, raise your hand with the word Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Ya Arham al-Rahimin. Ya Rabb al-Mustad'afin. Ya Rabb al-Mustad'afin. فرج عن إخواننا في غزة اللهم فرج عن إخواننا في غزة. آمين. Loudly آمين. اللهم فرج عن إخواننا في غزة. آمين. اللهم فرج عن إخواننا في غزة. آمين. اللهم احقن دماءهم. اللهم احقن دماءهم. اللهم احقن دماءهم. اللهم نفس كربتهم. اللهم عليك بعدوك وعدوهم. اللهم عليك بعدوك وعدوهم. اللهم عليك بعدوك وعدوهم. اللهم احمي أطفالهم. اللهم احمي نساءهم. اللهم احمي نساءهم. اللهم ارفع غضبك ومقتك عنا. اللهم ارفع غضبك ومقتك عنا. اللهم إنا نسألك فرجا عاجلا. اللهم إنا نسألك فرجا عاجلا. اللهم إنا نسألك فرجا عاجلا. وصل اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Now inshallah we are going to call for the we are going to call adhan for Salat al-Dhuhr, and we are going to pray Salat al-Dhuhr right now. Those our friends who are non-Muslims or our sisters who are not able to pray, we recommend that you be on the side of the street and chant for Palestine and chant for free Palestine. And inshallah after Salat we are going to join you inshallah. So the rally is not over yet. After Salat we are going to spend few moments, probably another half an hour or so, and we'll be on the side of the street, and let the world hear us. Let's educate the world of what's happening in Gaza. And our message is very clear. Cease fire now. Cease fire now. Cease fire now. And I would like to thank everybody, Muslims and non-Muslims, old and young, brothers and sisters who joined us in this rainy day. May Allah reward you tremendously. And that is not the end. There will be ready for more of these events. We are going to continue to raise our voice. We are going to continue to let people hear what's happening until the massacre, until the genocide that is taking place in Gaza stop. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Hamza, can you call adhan?
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا